Between the Plum Mustangs and your Albergalton Colonials. A reminder that Albergalton is a tobacco-free stadium, so please refrain from the use of tobacco.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting edition of Albergalton football as your Colonials prepare to square off against the Plum Mustangs. It's a beautiful evening with clear skies and a pleasant 71 degrees as these two conference opponents match up for what should be a spirited battle. My name is Mitch Pegg, and I am joined with a very good friend of mine, KJ Dillo. Hi, KJ.
Hey, Mitch. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Both teams come into tonight's game having had a difficult season to this point. Plum enters this game with a 1-5 overall record and a 0-5 record in conference play. The Colonials enter this game searching for their first victory of the season as they currently have an 0-6 record. For those of you listening, you may be wondering, who's this guy? Or possibly, hey, he sounds familiar. Being the realist that I am, it's probably the prior and not the latter because I'm not that important and you don't remember who I am. I'm very pleased to say that after 11 years, I am back in the box to bring tonight's action to you alongside one of my best friends. KJ, it's been a while since we stood over this field with microphones to our mouths. How the heck are you, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm doing pretty good. Life's changed a lot in 11 years. We gotta get back into it just like nothing ever changed, and we will talk about our team, hopefully get our first win tonight, huh?
I sure hope so. And if you're anything like me, nothing really has changed in the way of maturity. So we're hoping for a nice, clean broadcast here. And we got the cough buttons ready. Now, like I said a moment ago, these two teams have been struggling throughout the entirety of their respective seasons, and they are hoping to forget these woes and get a win tonight. This will be the second team of Mustangs that the Colonials have faced this season, having lost to their bitter rivals, the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, just about a month ago. That game was their most competitive game so far this season as they have struggled to navigate this new conference. They're playing in a different conference this year. It's a 5A conference, which means some pretty fierce football teams to take on. Now, the Colonials are led by Coach Drew Dindle, and they're hoping to get over that hump and put a win in the column for the first time in roughly a year. Last year, the last time they won was about a calendar year ago. So, Colonials struggling a little bit this season. We've seen the roster shrink from what I've been told from last season to this season, but we're hoping that this small nucleus of players that we have can pull out a win here tonight. Band senior night. Band put on a nice show before the game started, so we're hoping we can get a win for what is usually a pretty top-notch band there.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot to not bring up too many things from the past, at least in reference to the Colonial football team, being a lot of things have changed. But just looking around, this is the first time I've been back to Colonial Stadium in quite a few years, and it doesn't look much different than I remember, but the field is beautiful, I must say.
The field is beautiful. Brand new field this year. It's a great job. I love the sidelines, love the end zones. Very nice field. We're hoping to get our first win here on this field tonight. But I will say I agree, it's a very nice field. Not a whole lot has changed in the atmosphere, but here we have our opening kickoff. And that will be taken at about the 8-yard line. It's brought out to the left side by the Colonial returner. And that is number 25, Tori Robinson. You got to remember, the last time we were here, we were personal friends with all these football players. I don't know a single one of them, but I'm going to do my best to get to know them tonight.
Yeah, that's the truth. Like you said, we don't know a single one of these players. You've moved your life quite a good ways away from Old York Run.
I have.
So have I. I'm about an hour away. So a lot of the names are familiar. People we went to school with, families growing up. So we are going to see a lot of familiar names tonight.
And we have first down and 10 here on the Colonials' first drive. It's going to be held by the quarterback and then tossed. And he's brought down in the backfield. That was number 24, Noah Flowers. Or not. Did I get a faulty, excuse me, Christian Stone. There's no, do you see these numbers? I see these numbers. Do you see the numbers? I see the numbers and then there's more numbers. It was really confusing. I was never a math guy, so numbers not my strong point.
That was a pretty interesting play to lead off the game. It looked like a little bit of an option going to the left side. Didn't work out very well for the Colonials. Hopefully that changes on this play.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I like that they're trying to mix things up a little bit. Start with a little bit of a run option. They keep a much more simple approach there as the handoff is to DuPont, number 2. It's going to be a short gain up the middle there for about 3 yards. So we're looking at about a 3rd and 15.
You know, one of the things that I find most interesting about high school football is the formation, the packages that they run with. I do watch a lot of NFL football, a lot of NCAA football, and you do see a lot from high school teams that you just don't see from the more experienced players. That was a wishbone formation. I haven't seen a wishbone formation in years upon years. It's all shotgun. It's all spread offense.
The last time I saw a wishbone, John Gruden was coaching the Buccaneers, and now he's coaching
Mike Allstott running right up the middle.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, we're old.
We are pretty old. We're just going to try not to do that. We're not as old as Mr. Nuttall. So the handoff, actually, no, he keeps himself. Quarterback keeper, looking for a man to throw to. He's got a reception there. Close to the first down, but just a bit shy was Torrey Robinson.
25, Torrey Robinson.
Now, like I said, you know, I like the different packages they're running here. I like they're trying to open something up. They have an interesting situation here. I haven't seen a punt team come out yet. Referees are conversing, which seems to be about 50% of all football that we see these days, referees conversing. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that's about. I don't know. It's not near a first down, possibly a penalty.
It must be a penalty here. I haven't gotten a call yet.
And a roughing the passer call.
Roughing the passer. Okay, so it must have been a late hit on the quarterback. And that will put the Colonials at the 47-yard line and a first down. So a little help on the roughing the passer penalty that was called there.
Promising start here. I mean, a little help from the penalty, like you said, but we are moving the ball. First drive of the game.
That is what we need to do. The last game I was at, not a whole lot of possession time, so it's nice to come out here and get a first down here. So we got 1st and 10 at the 47. Hand off to the, I believe it was the fullback position at that point. That was Cole DuPont. It's hard to tell with that wishbone, you know, the multi-back sets that they have going on when they're handing it off. But I like that. It's keeping it interesting, possibly confusing the defense there. Hopefully it just doesn't confuse me.
Yeah, the one good thing about that is it does give the quarterback a lot of options. And with the age, you know, high school students, high school athletes, having a lot of options is definitely helpful, especially if they're going to give him the choice to who he's going to give the ball to.
Sure. Moody drops behind center, and the handoff is a fake, a keeper, and an option play, and it's up the sideline there, number 25, Torrey Robinson, and he's in the first down territory.
Another nice little gain there. The first drive also, it's going pretty well for us right now. Torrey Robinson seems to have a little bit of speed around the outside. Seems like something we might be able to exploit.
That seemed to be similar to the play they called on first down, the first play of the drive here. He got rid of the ball a little quicker that time, came to the right side here, and had a little more success on it that time. Let's see what they do here on 1st and 10.
Not much protection for the quarterback here. It's interesting.
Yes, it is interesting, and he is changing the play at the line, so it's nice to see from a high school quarterback. And the handoff goes straight up the middle there to DuPont. Maybe a short one on the pickup there. But I like that they're sticking to the run, you know. With the high school team, keeping that run going, keeping the clock moving, but also possibly open up a play action here.
The coaching staff must have a little bit of confidence in quarterback Braden Moody to make good decisions. It's nice to see, like you said, to have multiple players that can make big plays in the game, and having the confidence in your quarterback can definitely take you a long way.
Absolutely. So we here have a 2nd and 9. Halfback went in motion there. Quarterback keeper. He got swallowed up pretty quickly there. He's going to lose a few on that one.
Yeah, not much room there to run. He had one wide receiver streaking up the far side of the field. Single coverage, but maybe a little bit too much distance for the quarterback in the run that he was trying to make to kind of launch the ball out there.
I see what you're saying, you know, with that protection package they have there. Having the multiple backs in the backfield, you have 5 down linemen, maybe a tight end there. It's for a high school quarterback who's making those snap decisions, sometimes that few seconds he has gets gobbled up pretty quickly. So we have a 3rd and 11. So this is another big play early in the game, trying to set the tone. It's a toss to the left side. He slips through the hole, and he's going to have a first down and more.
And carried by number 24, Christian Stone.
And that was Christian Stone again on the toss play, a nice little power toss. I used to call that on Brett Favre's quarterback club on Nintendo 64. Again, aging ourselves. I did that one on purpose because video games, they age it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure you're noticing the same thing I am, but that is essentially an identical play they've ran the past 4 plays. Running back in motion, like we said before, gives the quarterback a lot of options, but I'm really liking that outside run.
Yeah. So we have a 1st down and 10. Ball at the 28, moving the ball along here. And they go forward for a few. Nothing wrong with a 2 or 3 yard gain there on 1st and 10. With the way the Colonials have been playing, they've been playing, from behind a lot this year. So it's nice to see them come out here on the first drive of the game, move the ball a little bit. They don't have to get it all in one play. A nice 3 yard gain on 1st down. Not a bad thing. So we got a 2nd and 7, ball at the 25, getting close to the red zone here. And they're chewing up the clock. 7 minutes left in the first here. So this has been a 5-minute drive so far.
Yeah, any kind of score on the first drive of the game gives the team a lot of confidence moving forward.
Absolutely. So if they could even get into, I'm not sure what their kicker's field goal range is, but they got to be getting close to it. And on 1st down, they hand the ball to DuPont, and he breaks a tackle or 2. And he's brought down and pops right back up after a gain of a few.
Tripped up on the play by number 2, Reed Martin.
So Martin on the tackle there for Plum, and it's going to be a nice 3rd and short here. It's a long 1 yard pickup they need here for a 1st down.
One of the things I was most interested in seeing at this game tonight is how the officiating works out. That's, like you said earlier, one of the topics of conversation around all of football anymore. So I'm interested to see how they call the games.
Moody under center again. Keeps it himself for that 1 yard. Man, is that a scrum there. And they are pulling at the ball, but he seems to have the 1st down. A little bit of fun after the action and a flag. It looks like we're going to get another personal foul here on some post-play activity.
Yeah, the Plum coaching on the sidelines are not happy.
I wouldn't be either, honestly. He was close to the 1st down, probably had it, but now you're going, probably half the distance to the goal on that penalty. Personal foul call on Plum, and it is confirmed. And they should be pulling within, it's going to be 1st and goal after that.
Now's the perfect time for a little fake run up the middle and dump it to the outside, maybe to one of the quicker running backs, Toy Robinson, possibly. Get him around the outside. See if we can get into the end zone here.
That would be nice to see some maybe unpredictable play action on this first play here on 1st and goal at the 9. And they're going to hand it off up the left side, and he's going to walk it in for the Colonial touchdown. That was Christian Stone. And the Colonials find themselves on top 6-0 with 5:47 left in the first.
That was a very exciting drive to start this game. I am optimistic right now.
I'm feeling the same way.
See how the defense plays. We've said it my whole life. I've said it my whole life, heard it my whole life. Defense wins championships. So we'll see how the defense does coming out after that first drive.
Great penetration on that run. And again, going with one of the 3 options he had there, and he went with the right one. The left side was open. Now the PAT is up, and it is right through the uprights.
That was not a bad leg there. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, me neither. One thing I'm noticing now, KJ, when these players are coming off the field, now you look at the sidelines, okay? For a 5A conference, there's not a whole lot of players on the sideline. You look at the roster, there's a lot of guys playing both sides of the ball. Now I know when I played, especially in 9th grade ball, it was the same way. A few of us were playing every single play, every single down. You can get tired. So there's not a whole lot of guys on the sidelines. They got enough. But what I'm seeing right now is some of the guys in the trenches for the Colonials are a little bigger than the Plum guys. They seem to be outweighing them in the trenches, which is going to wear on them. So if you can continue, see, like you said, see what the defense does here. If we get the ball back, continue to pound that run. It doesn't have to be pretty. A win is going to be big for this team, however it comes.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, taking the ball up the middle every time and, 3, 4, 5 yards at a time, you really are going to wear a team down. And by the 3rd, 4th quarter, that could be all you need to come out on top, even if it's by 7, 14, 10.
Doesn't matter. You are absolutely right. So the Colonials up 7-0. We have 5:47 left in this first quarter. And here is the kick. Nice boot back to about the 9-yard line. Will be taken there by Plum. He had a hole there, and he bounces off the tackle around the left side. He has one man to beat. He beats him, but he's pushed out. Oh, he maintains his footing. And it looks like he's going to take it all the way. And there goes that momentum we were talking about. I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a run there. I can't take it from the guy. There was two times on that where he should have been pushed out of bounds or at least tackled along the sideline here. And he was unable to do so. Was that number 2, KJ? I believe that was Reed.
Yeah, I believe so. But like you were saying, on both 40s, on our side and their side of the field, he was wrapped up at our 40, and then he should have been pushed out of bounds at their 40. Heck of a move to stay in bounds. Just very impressive, very impressive.
One thing I think that the Colonials are going to be hearing when they get to the sideline on that is finish the play, finish the tackle. It seemed as though, you know, as a player, he was looking for the sideline to make the play rather than him making the play. PAT is up and good, and we got a tie ball game in a matter of 9 seconds there. The game is, excuse me, in a matter of 14 seconds. 9 seconds, that got to be pretty fast. 14 seconds, and we are at a tie ball game. Now, again, optimistic, we got some momentum. Now it's back to even. I think for the Colonials, they're going to look at it as, don't let that get in your head. Get out there, do what we did on that drive. We still haven't seen Plum's offense. We don't know how they're going to react.
Yeah, we just took the ball down the field on them. Let's do it again. Like you said, let's wear that defense down. This just gives us a chance to get back on that and see what we can do.
So, awaiting the kickoff here from Plum. It'll be interesting to see how we respond to that there. One thing, defense for Plum, right back out on the field. So they were out there for almost 7 full minutes on that first drive. And now they're going to be back out there pretty quickly. Pretty quick turnaround for them. So we'll see how the Colonials take advantage of that. Awaiting the kickoff. It'll be taken at about the 5, and that was Robinson. And he returns it about 10 yards or 15 yards, excuse me. We got 24-yard line there, 1st and 10.
You know, in a situation like this, with the Colonials facing another school like Plum, similar record. You hate to say it, but for a 0-win team like Albert Gallatin, they have to smell the blood in the air. They have to think that if they're going to come into tonight, this is their chance. This is their real good chance. You know, first one of the season. Let's get out here. Let's get this win. There's a team that we can possibly take down. Let's see them get on top of that right now.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been playing a lot of teams that really overpower them. This is definitely an evenly matched game. Handoff up the left side there for DuPont.
Carrying the ball here for the Colonials, number 2, Cole DuPont.
And he gets about a 6-yard gain on that. Excuse me, about a 5-yard gain. So it'll be 2nd and 5 at the 29.
I really would like to see the Colonials come out with a little bit more protection on the offensive line. They are doing a good job with the 5-down linemen that they have. But you just never know what could happen if you get another lead blocker out in front. It looks like DuPont has some power behind him. You know, get another guy out in front of him, he could go the distance.
Got a couple pretty stout defensive ends on Plum. I'm surprised they haven't been crashing a little harder. Actually, one of them just missed a tackle on that play. That was number 2, DuPont again on the dive play there.
More of the same like we saw last drive. I like where we're going.
Keep progressing that ball. You know, if you can get 4 or 5 yards per play, you're going to stack up some first downs. You're going to get some points slowly but surely. You want to hope that they don't come back out and, you know, just erase that long drive that you had again with a kickoff return, something like that. But I do like that they're chopping away here. Running back in motion. And there was some neutral zone infraction there.
Looks like they're pointing towards the Plum side of the ball.
That's what it was. He drew the guy offside, so we're going to see some encroachment there.
This could be a story of the game. 3 penalties for Plum, none for Albert Gallatin thus far. That can be a big game changer.
Penalties have been the story so far. in regards to first downs for the Colonials. Now on that keeper they had down here towards in the red zone, it was going to be a first down anyways, but it cut the distance in half. Next play we're in the end zone. On that one, that was Joseph Nace there jumping off sides and making one of our linemen false start there. So the 1st and 10, and the ball is out, and it's fumbled and picked up by Plum, and they're going to take it in for the score. And just like that, momentum shift again. Got a good look at that fumble there, and it was some I don't know if it was miscommunication or if he had some popcorn before he started the game, but the handoff, the transition definitely was slippery. So I'm not sure. With that option, that's the thing. You got young kids and they're trying to run, you know, they have multiple options of who they play. Now, I don't know that. I don't know that for sure. They might have it set before they even break huddle. But it seems as though he may have a few options, and on that transition, he dropped it. So
yeah, I'm going to
work on the timing there.
I'm going to retract my prior statement. I think mistakes from Albert Gallatin might be the difference in tonight's game.
Oh my goodness, you know, that's the thing is football and at every level, you know, if you have evenly matched opponents on any level, NFL, college, high school, you know what your offense can do, you know what your defense can do. A lot of times it comes down to things like the turnover battle and mental mistakes. You see big games in all sports, you know, it's playoff season in baseball right now. You could have a really close contested game, and that one error, that one slip up after, you know, a pretty well played game can be the difference. So you're right. It's going to be a battle here not only of offense and defense, but of the minds as well when it comes to making these mental errors.
Absolutely, and you really have to believe that the Plum sideline is on fire right now.
Absolutely, and again, KJ, I'm going to point this out. It's 14-7, 3:50 left in the first. We still have not and will not see the Plum offense probably for the rest of this quarter if we're lucky. So it's been an interesting game so far. I have not seen their quarterback throw the ball. I have not seen the running back run the ball. It's been all special teams, all defense so far.
So if you have definitely Plum's, a rarity.
If you have Plum's special teams defense in fantasy right now, you are killing it. So the ball's taken at the 10. And the return man crosses the 25, close to the 30. And little action after the play there. Man walking with his hands up, that usually tells you he did something wrong, but he got away with it. That's cool. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colonials here. Once they set the ball, I'll know for sure. Looks to be about the 28-yard line. Excuse me, 29. So 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line for the Albert Gallatin Colonials.
Single backfield this time. Only
single back, that's right. I was just thinking that. Man in motion. And the first pass of the play, he ends up keeping it, and he's going to go down. Not a lot of protection there. Again, like we said, Moody did not have any time. For a play action, I like that they went to the play action. I do, because they've been running the ball, same play, and different variations of the play. But that time, keeps the ball. I think on that one, it has to be, and this might be what he did really, because he tucked the ball pretty quickly. I don't know if it was pressure or it was planned. His guy wasn't there, his hot route wasn't there, and he pulled it down. So we're looking at 2nd and 13 here.
Just try to work this one out to the wide side of the field. I think we might have a little more success.
I think you're right there. You got single coverage out there. And the ball is out again on what looked to be a shovel pass. And it's going to be another turnover.
Right in the back.
KJ, my man, I'm going to start calling you Nostradamus. That is another mistake there, and it gives the Plum.
And we do have an injured player on the field.
We got an injured guy down. Once I get a number, I'll let you know who it is. I think it's a big guy. I see a 7 there.
A little more awareness on that last play. I'm just not happy. I'm not happy with the way the running back. He didn't have his. Get my words in line here. He wasn't expecting the ball, which is the trouble with the option play. You give the quarterback that ability to give the ball to whoever he wants. The rest of the players around him have to be ready for it at all times. And I give the running back respect if he thought he needed to make a block. He thought, oh, my quarterback's going to keep it. He's going to take it down the field. I need to make a block here. But you have to be aware. If you're involved in the play and there's a chance that you could get the ball, you just got to keep your head on a swivel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's one of those plays, too. It's frustrating to see because, he shovels it forward, but being that it's behind the line of scrimmage, being that it wasn't a forward pass, they're going to give Plum the ball in pretty good position here. More importantly, though, we want to see if this guy can get up from this injury. Now I see his feet moving. I see movement down there. Could be a lot of different things here. The medical staff is crowding him. The coaches are crowding him. So I haven't gotten a number on him yet. Get a few guys down there talking. But KJ, it's sad to see. Not sad to see. It's disappointing right now to see the fact that we come out 7-0, pretty good game, a pretty good drive on the first drive, and now we're looking at
mistake-free drive. That's
the
most important thing.
And he's popped up, coming off the field, and he gets a nice courteous round of applause from the away crowd over here.
Number 71, Colby Verano.
Colby Verano was your man, and he is okay. He's actually trotting off now, so it could have been anything. Could have got the air knocked out of him, something like that. So he's on the sideline, upright.
In a case like that, you always got to worry about head injuries.
You do.
A player gets up, thinks he's all right. It could have been a knock to the head. Obviously you can trot off like nothing's wrong.
Sure.
Got to keep an eye on him, though.
Keep an eye on him for sure. And we got a lot of people paying attention to that these days. So here's our first offensive snap for Plum, and the play is to the halfback. Tackle is missed, and he is out at the 17-yard line. And that was Billy Guzzi on the run. And one thing you'll notice with both teams, again, this is the first time seeing Plum's offense, first time seeing Colonial's defense. A lot of the same guys on the field.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I really want to point out on that play, which was something I brought up when the Colonials had the ball, is they ran the ball to the wide side of the field. I think in high school sports, using space to your advantage just makes sense.
Sure, absolutely. You don't have a lot of 4-3 guys out there, 4-3, 40 guys. They're not going to close that gap very quickly. Open it up, spread it out, I agree. Now that give is to Guzzi again, up the gut, and he's chunking away. When I was looking at their stat sheets, he is very obviously their leading rusher. He gets involved in the pass game as well. He plays defense. He's one of the top guys for tackles on defense. So this Billy Guzzi is definitely one of their workhorses out there.
Yeah, just a sophomore, quite undersized at 5'7", 155. Not a very big guy, but he obviously has speed behind him. So, give him the ball around the outside. He took that one with the middle. Maybe this guy can do it all.
I've always been told anyone under 5'9", watch out for him. You never know what they're going to do. And the ball is to him again, and he's taking it out to the side, launches for the pylon, and they're going to call for a touchdown on the play. And that play was brought to you by Billy Guzzi. Every single offensive snap went to him, including that touchdown run there. Nice little dive for the pylon.
Reminds me a lot of one of your favorite players from back in the day, Darren Sproles. Little running back.
Well,
a lot of speed around the outside,
absolutely.
But he could also take it up the middle.
Absolutely. And here's the craziest thing about Darren Sproles. He's still playing. It blows my mind. He's the ageless wonder.
Super Bowl winner last year.
Super Bowl winner for the Eagles. And the kick is up for the PAT, and it's good. And I'll tell you, living in Hershey, Pennsylvania now, it was an experience to watch the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Not a pleasant one, I will add.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that very much if I'm being quite honest. I would prefer to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl over the Flyers winning the Stanley Cup.
Absolutely.
But, that's apples and oranges to a lot of people, whether you're a hockey fan or a football fan.
It is. But, yeah, that was an interesting experience, living out that way. I'm in no man's land a lot of the time. It's nice, where I went to college outside of Philadelphia, and it was all Philly there. Philly and New York. At least in Hershey, there's some kind of halfway. So you get some Steelers fans here and there. I still get the Penguins games, the Pirates games at my house. So a little piece of home while I'm out there. But yeah, Darren Sproles is a good example of how taking care of yourself. Undersized, being shifty, man, that's what you're seeing in the NFL. You're seeing in a lot of sports now is if you could be shifty and quick and avoid a lot of those big hits that take guys out, you make it a long way in the league. Another run back here from Robinson. Brings the ball to about the 20. And that's about as far as he'll get it. He had about the 22 and popped back to try to make something more, which you can't blame him. You know, the kickoff in high school is one of the plays where things are pretty wide open, and you get the opportunity, as you saw with Plum, to make something happen with all that open space.
Yeah, no evidence that would have helped very much, but it looked like Stone missed a pretty key block. It could have sprung Robinson free, but you just got to hope that a missed block like that, pretty evident, doesn't mean the wind's coming out of their sails already.
Sure. And like we said, you cannot take anything away from the fact that you see a lot of the guys on offense are playing defense. The fatigue is going to come in. Robinson in motion. Moody keeps it, and he's not going anywhere with that. Honestly, he was pretty lucky to hold on to the ball. That was a nice tackle there from their defensive end. And that's a little bit of retribution there from Joseph Nace. He's the guy that jumped off sides on the last defensive drive for Plum, and he gets that sack there. Pretty lengthy sack there. It's a loss of 10 yards. 2nd and 20 for the Colonials here. Clock winding at 1 minute and 20 seconds here in the first.
Another 2 wide set. Maybe we should think about some shotgun here. I don't know if they have that in the arsenal.
I'm not sure. Hand off to DuPont. And doesn't go very far with that one, maybe a yard or two.
Just looking at the stat sheet, Cole DuPont seemed to be a lot taller than 5'11". I was going to just make a comment about his size. I guess it's not quite as big as I thought, but maybe he's one of the bigger backs that they have. Maybe keep pounding him up the middle.
Well, you got to remember, you take a look at the score sheet, the stat sheet here. There's not a whole lot of guys over the 6-foot mark. Pretty, we're in high school again. We're talking about a high school game here, but really, you look at that sheet. There's not a whole lot of guys in the 6-foot range. So he is one of the larger dudes on the field, and we'll see what they're going to do here on a long 3rd and 18. They're going to pass it. It looks like he's going to keep it. He had a pretty open field there, and now there's a flag on the play. And honestly, the way that looks, now it's in the area of holding, but one of the Plum guys looks pretty upset. It could go either way here. I'm thinking that's in the area of holding, though, and they're going to pull it back. 2
offensive linemen, and it looked like a D-end back there. That was all that was left where the flag came out. So pretty outside of the play, had really no effect on what was happening, but clearly some infraction went on.
Something's going. That's why I thought maybe it wasn't holding, because it was pretty late in the play. Moody had already made his way outside, and I think if he would have thought to pull that ball down just a little quicker, he may have had closer to the first down there. But it closed up pretty quickly.
Maybe it's time to start thinking about utilizing their 6'2" wide receiver, Dylan Shea. He looks like he might be one of the guys on the team with some height.
It might cause some mismatches, and I'll tell you again, KJ, that is one of the stories here. The Colonials get a face mask call there. That is a gift, if you ask me. I believe the infraction was correctly called, but that was something that was happening as the play was developing, and I think they got themselves a pretty good deal there. So instead of a 3rd and 18 they were looking at, they still haven't moved any chains. They haven't done anything like that. So it wasn't an automatic first down. I guess it must have been from the spot of the foul. So that puts them at a 3rd and 5. So still an opportunity here for what looked to be a busted play. And the clock winds down to the end of the first quarter.
Pretty exciting first quarter there, to be honest with you. Like you said, things started out pretty well for Albert Gallatin, and it just kind of got worse from there. Pretty mistake-free first drive, like we said, and it's been a mistake-riddled game from that point on. Gifts of penalties, keeping them involved, but short of that, it's been a struggle for Albert Gallatin to even stay alive.
You are right, my man. It has been, really, I don't even think that it was the kickoff return that really took the wind out of their sails as much as it was the turnover that came thereafter. They still had, a pep in their step They come out, they turn the ball over. They turn the ball over twice now, which has brought, which has turned into 14 points. So defense, special teams has been struggling for the Colonials, and on the other side of the ball has been the story for Plum. Plum has ran 3 offensive plays, all to the same player, and they are up 21-7. So this is definitely a game of mistakes, and hopefully they can reel that in. 21-7, playing a team evenly matched here. You get 14 on the, you get another touchdown here. Hopefully going to the locker room down a touchdown, maybe tied. You never know what can happen in high school football. So here we are, 3rd and 5. Moody behind center. Motion, toss play. Looks like he got the block and looks like he's going to have the first down. And that was a heck of a block there. And I'll tell you, it was a good cut. Christian Stone there with the cut to take it up the middle. It looked like he was going to take that toss to the outside. Lyman makes a heck of a block, and he decides to take it up the middle for the first down.
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting thing I'm noticing with the Colonials. The 3 running backs that they have, vastly different body types, different skill sets. It looks like Christian Stone's more of a moderately sized running back, can take it up the middle, can go outside. Torrey Robinson can get around the outside pretty quick, and DuPont is right up the middle every time. So they have a lot of options in running the ball, which is what they seem to be working at right now.
Absolutely. And there's a flag on the play. We're going to see what this is about. Prior to the snap, it was thrown from back here in the backfield as well, right in front of us here at the 50. And they're walking it back.
Delay a game penalty against the Colonials.
One thing that I can say that I absolutely miss about broadcasting these games and being in the high school atmosphere is the lights. Being out here, Friday night lights, high school football. I live in Bethel Park, and I get to see a few games a year, and this is just a setting that I'm really fond of. I'm glad to be here, Mitch.
Me too. So that was a 1st and 15 play. Handoff up the left tackle side to Robinson. Excuse me, I think that was Stone.
Carrying the ball, number 24, Christian Stone.
Yes, that was Christian Stone.
Tackle made by number 78, Akil Washington.
So we'll be looking at about a 2nd and 14, maybe a short 2nd and 15.
A little bit of a slow-moving drive here. Colonials trying to work the ball, work the clock. Like you said, maybe try to wear out some players. Pretty different from what we've seen from Plum with the splash plays that they've made. Three and into the end zone, and the kick return, fumble recovery.
Halfback in motion. Option play, he keeps it. And he is dropped behind the line of scrimmage there for about a loss of 2.
Yeah, just not fooling anybody there. Got to do a lot better job blocking if you're going to get around the outside.
That's the thing, I actually heard this quote the other day, and I can't remember who it was by, but it was on a radio show that I listened to. And he said, oftentimes coaches will tell you that the first 16 to 20 plays of a game are scripted. And that's in the NFL. And then what? Then the rest of the game is kind of, you got to respond to how the defense responds to you. And right now, Plum is not falling for that option play. And I'm hoping, I'm hoping that they can pull something else out of the hat, because I don't know about you, but from standing where we're at, that option play, as it did on that play, can open up for your halfback to get hit hard. Now, that hit wasn't all that hard. However, quarterback keeps that ball, and then he decides to flip it at the last second, and it's like deer in the headlight time for a running back. So I'm hoping they can – right, you're on to something. They keep bringing it to the crowded side of the field. If they could maybe take it to the outside hash, open up the play a little bit. They have some speed in the backfield. I don't know how comfortable they are throwing a bubble screen or something like that. But that might be a place to go for them. Switch it up a little bit. Yeah,
man, even a quick slant across the middle. I mean, get your other players into the game. If, like you said, the rosters aren't as large as you'd expect maybe from some other 5A teams, some college teams that you see. But if you have a player on the field, you have to have some trust in him, and you have to try to get him the ball in one way or another. You can't put all of your trust, all of your eggs into 3 players. You have 2 guys on the outside every single play, and I haven't seen them go to any of them yet. So why have them out there?
The wide receivers are definitely getting a workout today, and that they're doing sprints. Let's get them the ball. And that's what they're going to try to do here. And the ball really was a toss-up. The play was out to about midfield, and the ball was thrown. I believe that was.
Breaking up the play was number 1, William Guzzi, and number 4, James Schropp.
I'm not sure who that was.
I think the pass was
that
to
was to
Shea.
Dylan Shea. Yes, I was going to say that, and I doubted myself. I should just commit to it. But yeah, that. But I don't know
who was there to break it up. Guzzi.
Guzzi is the man right now for Plum. He was there to break that pass up. Almost had an interception. Turned Shea into a cornerback there for a second.
You know, 3rd down and 16. It was kind of an obvious passing play, but Plum really had that set up well with his own defense.
They did, and almost a block there for the Plum special teams. A good roll there for the Colonials, and that punt's going to bring Plum's offense back to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, I thought it might hit a Plum player there. I got kind of excited.
As did I. But nobody kind of responded to that. You know, you kind of see a player will. They tell on themselves whenever the ball hits them because they go diving for it, it didn't look like anything phased him there. So first and 10, 38-yard line there for Plums.
The first time for Plum on their own side of the field here.
This is true. We're going to see what they do with more than 30 yards to score a touchdown here. And they will be the team that decides to pull that shotgun out that you were talking about. Quarterback back to pass, has plenty of time to throw. Guy across the middle, and that's going to be a pickup of 8 on first down, and that was to number 10, Ryan Hubner.
Catch is made by number 10, Ryan Hubner.
And as everyone could hear, I was looking at a piece of paper to figure out who that guy was.
You know, one of the first things you told me when I walked in to meet you to come out and broadcast this game was that Plum is sporting white uniforms with white numbers. It is, for our first game back in 11 years, this is quite a challenge for us to actually pick numbers out.
It is reminding me how close to 30 I am. On a first down play, he's going for the home run ball, and a heck of a completion there for number 7.
Catch is made by number 7, Maximus Matulski.
That was Maximus Matulski with the catch from Plum. So we're obviously seeing that the quarterback from Plum High has quite an arm on him, and he definitely has the confidence to let one go and get it downfield.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line. And the play is a little bit of a draw play up the middle there, and a nice run for about 12 yards. And that was James Schropp on the carry. I'll tell you, Maximus Matulski's name took me off guard. I was not prepared to use the name Maximus today. I'll use it as often as I can, so hopefully he gets the ball again.
I wouldn't see any reason why they wouldn't give him the ball. 6-foot-tall wide receiver, 190 pounds. He definitely has a nice size to him. Get him down the field. Now you give him the ball here.
First and 10. Handoff up the middle. That's to Schropp again, and he's going to walk it in on the touchdown there for Plum. And when I say walk it in, he was having a stroll in the park there. So definitely a good block up front. Now what I'm seeing, I had mentioned maybe some mismatch in the size down low for the Colonials. I'm seeing some mismatch on the outside, and you pointed out you got a 6'1" wide receiver for Plum. Our cornerbacks pretty short compared to those guys, so they're definitely a size differential.
And you know, I think a game changer is the shotgun. The shotgun's giving the quarterback some more time. It's also letting him get a good visual on what the defense has in front of him. I think that if Albert Gallatin would just allow quarterback Moody to drop back a little bit, give him that extra 2-3 steps, maybe a second and a half, he might be able to make a little bit better of a decision with the ball. It's tough for a young kid, especially with an undersized line coming out from under center. You just don't have the time to make a play, and by the time you're ready to actually make that decision, you're ready to scan the field and see what you're going to do, the entire defense is on top of you, and it's really difficult to make a good play in that situation.
You're absolutely right. So I'm hoping that the Colonials can put some points on the board here before the end of the first half. You know, I'm looking at, and I said it the last game I was at, first half seemed to drag a little bit because there was a lot of scoring going on and a lot of splash plays, like you were saying, where Plum just walked down the field pretty quickly. The Colonials, I thought, really had a nice control of the game there at the beginning. First drive, they took 7 minutes. That's unlikely for a high school team to have a 5 to 7 minute drive. So it was nice to see that, but they lost that on some mental mistakes, and now we're looking to bounce back as that kickoff is taken at the 12-yard line by Robinson. He tries a reverse field. Strong kid there, I'll tell you what. He drug a couple guys a few yards there, but they're going to get that ball at the 22nd.
I'm sure the coaching staff's going to be telling him, you got to take it vertical. Running horizontal across the field isn't going to get you anywhere. Plum obviously has the speed to get down the field, and they can make a tackle. You just got to get as much as you can on that kickoff and help out your offense.
We have 2 double X's and 1 medium and 1 large.
So this game being streamed online live, I was told that my wife is watching. She let us know that she's watching. So a little shout out to her. She told me to say something crazy, but I said, absolutely not, Angela. I will not do that. I will not do that. I'd like my career intact, and I'll keep it that way. So I'm not going to fall for that one. So quarterback keeper there looked to pitch for the option, but Moody's going to take it up the gut there for a yard.
Short side of the field, Mitch.
Short side of the field.
Same story.
Now I got to say, we haven't been around for this team all year, so it's hard to come in and try to scout and try to figure out what the offense is doing. There may be a reason they haven't had confidence in that sort of play, spreading the ball out. We have seen some mistakes on transition. So when you spread that ball out, it's a lot about timing. So maybe they're struggling with that sort of thing. We've seen some mishaps on handoffs and things like that. So we'll see if they decide to go with something different. It's going to be a toss play to the right side. I believe that's Stone again. Excuse me, that was Cole DuPont. But again, I mean, they try to take it to that opposite side of the field on the toss play. Nothing doing. And I'll tell you, it's nice to see pretty nice crowd in the AG stands. Like we said, tonight was the band's senior night. We first started, fans are taking a little while to file into their seats, but now a pretty good crowd for both teams. So turning out to be a nice night for football. 3rd and 8. Play is a quick little toss. Nice little downhill run there. It was Cole DuPont, but not quite going to get it to the first down as he's about 3 yards short.
Yeah, Cole DuPont, he's definitely a no-nonsense type of runner. He gets the ball, obviously it's a toss to the outside. He's going to have a little bit of a radius on his run, but he likes to get it upfield and try to get as much as he can. And I think that's the way the Colonials are going to have to get down the field. They're going to have to take chunks. Obviously, the Plum defense they're stout. They're getting around to the outside. They're not going to allow a big play. You just got to chip away. Like we said, 5-6 yards at a time. Just work it down the field, just like that first drive.
Yes, sir. So now we're awaiting a punt. Low snap, high punt. Never a recipe for a booming kick. Low snap, high punt, and that punt will put Plum in our territory to begin the drive at the 44-yard line.
I'm going to expect 5 minutes and 46 seconds left in the half. I'm going to expect a big dose of the run starting out this drive. I imagine Plum's going to want to get in the end zone, but they're also going to want to get to half, not give the ball back.
Absolutely. Now, at this point, I definitely see what you're saying. And something that we've experienced this year, you go into that second half up 35 points. Any point in the second half, if you're leading 35, they keep a continuously rolling clock. I think Plum's gunning for that now, seeing that they have the Colonials on their heels. So I'm hoping the Colonials can fight back a little bit here. Guzzi with the keeper. And he's swallowed up in the backfield. Now a flag comes flying in, and it's in the area of a face mask, but I'm sitting here with some binoculars, and I'm here to tell the ref that was not a face mask. So if that's what he decides to call, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
Yeah, it was definitely a grab of the shoulder pad.
Absolutely.
There's absolutely zero head whip. You could tell that he didn't have a hold of the face mask.
100%.
His body did spin, but it wasn't the type of motion you'd expect from a rip at the head.
And that is exactly what he called. He called a face mask. You know, try not to get too hung up on the referees, but that is something that you'll see. And I'm not saying the Plum player was acting or anything. He did whip around, so that is what the umpire saw. And that is what got called. So that gives Plum a 1st and 10 at our 35-yard line. So that did not take much time for them to come knocking on the door.
Big size difference near side of the field.
Reverse play, but a mishandle of the ball. It was fortunate for Plum because that ball hit the ground hard and bounced straight back up into his hands. So very fortunate for Plum's offense there. But that was a mishandle on a reverse play. So again, both teams trying to break out with some high-speed running plays, some confusion, misdirection, and both teams have struggled with those transitions.
Yeah, one thing that is really striking me, I sadly haven't been back down to very many Albert Gallatin games, but living where I do in the South Hills of Pittsburgh, watching teams like Bethel Park, Upper St. Clair, Mount Lebanon, they throw the ball a lot, and their players are a lot bigger. It's just a vastly different game down here, and it is still 5A school. It
is. That's what they have. They're playing 5A schools this year. Now they're going to throw a pass, and the ball was in the hands of the wide receiver and then out, which really left it up there for the Colonials to take a stab at it. That was intended for none other than Maximus Matalski. He could not come down with it. Colonials tried to make it into a turnover there. No such luck. So we're looking at a 3rd and 7. 4:42 left here in the 2nd quarter for the Colonials.
3rd down and 7 for the Mustangs. From the 41-yard line of the Colonials.
3rd down, big play here. I'd like to see him get a stop and try to get the ball back here. Maybe get something going before the end of the half.
3rd and 7. And the play is up the right side, and that is your boy,
Carrying the ball, head number 4,
Mr. Excuse me, that was not Guzzi, that was Schrupp,
tackle made by number 6, Dylan
who was
Shea
also
of
a
the
pretty speedy little guy there, and he picks up the 1st down.
And good for a Mustang 1st down.
So 1st and 10.
About the 33-yard line with that 1st and 10.
Ball at the 33, call it a 33 and a half.
I can never get used to the clock stopping on a 1st down, even in college, high school. I'm looking at it wondering, why isn't the clock running?
Every Mountaineers game I watch on TV, why is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. 1st down, okay, get to the ball. And we have a drop back and a pass for the end zone. Looked like early contact, but a no call. So good coverage there by Robinson. And again, going to good old Max Matalski.
I really do like the confidence Plum seems to have in their quarterback. It's a little bit easier when you're up 21 points. Let him drop back and throw a little bit, kind of have some fun, get away from the run game. But you got to imagine that Guzzi wants the ball. Haven't seen him get it in a while. They could be going to him right now.
Absolutely. So that Hunter Leinert is their quarterback, and he's a well-built high school quarterback. He's got a nice arm. He gives the ball up the middle there. And that was to Guzzi that time, but it was sniffed out
Tackle made by number 2, Cole DuPont of the Colonials.
by Cole DuPont. Some help there by a couple of the big boys down low.
You know, you're seeing a little bit of life from the Colonial defense. It's nice to see here at the end of the half. It doesn't look like they're too beaten down. You know, they down 21 points. You're still in the game. It's an uphill battle, but you're still in the game. So it's reassuring to see that the players are keeping their heads up, and you know they're still hitting. They're still playing the game.
Very true. You see a pep in their step. They really had a nice stop here at midfield, but with a face mask call, questionable call that has them knocking on the door. 3rd and 10. Leinert keeping the ball. He does get rid of it, and a fantastic catch. And then ball is loose. What a mishmash of a play here. I'm waiting to see. The ball was in the air after a nice rollout by Leinert.
And the catch is made, but we do have a fumble on the play.
An amazing catch on the sideline, up over the cornerback. And they're going to keep.
It was recovered by the Mustangs.
Now that was a very interesting play, KJ, as I searched for my words. Roll out, great rush by the defensive line. I believe they brought a one man on the blitz there. Leinert rolls out, makes a great pass for the first down. Fumble, comes back, and it leaves a 4th and 2 for Plum. And the handoff is going to be straight up the gut, and it's going to be more than enough as they chunk away for that first down.
That was the first power formation we've seen from Plum tonight.
Yep.
No wideouts, you know, all big boys up front, hand it to the fullback. Pretty easy.
That's something I like to see in high school ball is when you see a formation, you kind of know what play's coming. You know, they've been dropping in the shotgun. They go to a power formation, they hand the ball off. Fundamentals, good blocking there on that short run. Guzzi puts his head down, nice downhill run there for the first down. So back to the shotgun here for Leinert, 1st and 10 at the 19. They can get another first down before they get a touchdown. Handoff is to Schropp on the outside, and he's tackled, a shoelace tackle there. My favorite kind of tackle.
Right inside the 5.
Carrying hit number 1, William Guzzi.
Excuse me, that was Billy Guzzi again. PA announcer's calling him William. I think we need to get the word up there that he prefers Billy. We'll try to get that going on the halftime.
Yeah, I mean, that's at least what our very credible roster source is telling us.
We got deep with these backgrounds on these guys, and he prefers Billy. Great tackle in the backfield, and Billy goes down, and that was Moody on the tackle. So not only does he play quarterback, he also plays linebacker. So you got to give it to the kid. A great tackle, penetrates the line there for a loss.
Yeah, you know, a lot of these kids playing both sides of the ball. It is exhausting, but I mean, they are having the time of their lives down there.
Absolutely.
Playing high school ball is something that a lot of our friends, they look back on. You know, oh, remember this game, remember that game, remember what we did. Like, it's just a good time, and these kids are having fun doing it.
Absolutely. Guzzi with the handoff on the shotgun formation. He's going to get it down to about the 1.5 yard line. Yeah, I mean, they are having the time of their lives, man. And when I decided not to play anymore, I decided to come and do this with AGTV and decided to play golf and all that. I had a couple good friends, Zach being one of them, our mutual friend, who said, high school, it's the last time you get the chance to play football is in high school. You think about it. Not very many people, if you don't play in high school, you don't ever play again with the pads and the, you know, everything that comes with it. It's the last opportunity you get to play.
It's funny that you bring up Zach, because he was one of the first people I thought of walking back into this school, walking back out onto this field. Some of the most memorable plays that we saw came from him. I mean, whether it be legal or illegal, you know, if you look back at our highlight tapes, one of our most famous ones that we have on one of the streaming sites, YouTube be that, Zach made one of my favorite plays we've ever seen, and it was actually illegal. It was a roughing the returner play.
Yes.
But purely illegal, but that's the kind of player Zach was. He wasn't a dirty player per se, but he was passionate. You know, he was getting down the field, he was making a play. He was full bore all the time, and I think a lot of these players try to play that way to the best that they can. And you know, it's just something about high school kids. There's a lot of energy, like you said. They're playing both sides of the ball. I have a lot of respect for them coming out here and doing this.
You know, Zach was one of those players that plays to the whistle and has, you know, trouble hearing. So he plays the whistle, and sometimes he doesn't hear the whistle. I'm going to take a step back and point out how terrible we are at announcing, because there was a holding call on that play. So now it's 2nd and 19 on that play. I'm just going to go ahead
you get
and
into
say,
reminiscing.
My bad. Pass play, and he had a man open. He had him beat. That was intended for Martin Reed. And
nice
he had his
seam
man
route up the middle.
Yeah, it was he found the seam. He beat his man just a little tall on the pass. But it was a heck of a play. Now, again, pointing out 43 seconds left. 43 seconds left here in the half. And this is a big, big play. Down 21, yes. But it's a heck of a lot better than being down 28. 3 scores, you can maybe bring it back. High snap, straight to Guzzi. And he's flushed out. Forward passes it out of bounds. Wasn't really anyone there.
He really took a hit, quarterback on the sideline. That was a really hot pursuit from the Colonials there. Almost got to him. He kind of just shovel passed it to nobody, get the ball out of his hands, but he really took a lick there.
Certainly did. So I am more excited than I should be to see this kick, because I saw this kid kicking some practice field goals before the game, and he has a leg on him, which I like to see in high school. It's interesting to see a guy. I was looking at him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's on their soccer roster as well. That kind of leg. I know all I have to say is Steve Champlin, and you know exactly what I'm saying. He
absolutely
was one of the better kickers that we saw coming through. Again, reminiscing. It's what we know. It's fine. Everybody get over it. But that's the guy that I think of who in high school put the ball through the uprights at a 35-yard range, and that's between 35 and 40 cents. That's something for a high school guy.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and the reminiscing, bringing that up. 2006 was the last time we made the playoffs. So
and he was
Champlin
a big part
was on
of
the
it.
team, absolutely.
And the kick is up.
And it's a good kick, almost blocked. Heck of a penetration there, but almost blocked on that play. But it's through the uprights, and it's 31-7. So 32 seconds left in this first half.
32 seconds left in the half.
And the Colonials are hoping maybe, hey, this could be the opportunity to get some points on the board before the half with a return. I know it's a slim chance, but they got a lot of speed on the return, man. So I'm hoping maybe he can make one of those stutter steps work for him, and that Robinson can maybe bring one home for us. That'd be a heck of a swing going into the half. Some confidence, some pep in their step.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Robinson kind of take a step upfield here. Not really play around too much with the sideline-to-sideline game. Just get as much as you can. Maybe he takes it all the way. Maybe he gets to the opposing 40, 30, and we have a chance to score in 30 seconds.
Yes, yep. So, awaiting the kick here.
Back to kick off number 23, Tyler Kulikowski.
And it is away. And to Robinson. He takes the ball at the 4-yard line. And he is going to take it right up the gut this time. Nice speed to about the 26-yard line. I don't know, KJ. We might see some sort of attempt here with 24 seconds left. You might see him just run it out and take it into the locker room. I think this first play is going to tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, and it's going to say a lot about what the mindset's going to be coming out in the second half. I mean, obviously the Colonial players, they're not going to be excited to get into that locker room. The coaching staff's going to have a lot to say. Probably a lot of it being negative, but they're going to try to build them up. They're going to try to get them back out here for the third quarter and try to put some points on the board. So this will be a big step in the right direction to gain some yards here, even if they don't get in the end zone.
Absolutely. Yeah, confidence builder.
Still under center, though.
Yep, Moody under center. And the handoff to DuPont. And again, with my good old binoculars here, that is a face mask. However, it was down low. It's in the muck. They don't see it. It's fine. And the clock is running, and we're going to see maybe one more. I think they might let it run. They get it off before.
Ball, huh?
And Moody has the keeper. I was there for a second, was holding my breath. I thought he might turn something out of nothing there, but nice little keeper there to bring the first half to an end.
Yeah, so didn't quite have that breakaway speed to get up into the field.
Nice run there. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come. That is the end of the first half here at Colonial Stadium, with the score 31-7, with the Plum Mustangs on top of the Colonials. And we will be right back with the Albert Gallatin Marching Band on AGTV Sports and on Fayette TV Channel 77 and on AGTVSports.com. We'll be back in a bit.
One Mustang Marching Band is proud to join musicians all around the globe who are celebrating the great Leonard Bernstein Centennial this year. We are celebrating in one of the best ways we know how. The show with the music from the iconic West Side Story. The show debuted on Broadway in 1957 and was soon followed by a 1961 film adaptation. The band is under the direction of Bethany Lloyd. Assistant directors are Michael Buckstein and Megan Masako. Pit instruction is handled by Caleb Gray, while the band front is expertly coached by Christine Andrews, Jessica Clark, Laura DeVecchio, Jenny Festa, Sam Passarello, Suella Wiles, and Amy Kirchner. Tonight, we like to be in America. In today's fast-paced world, one important lesson from West Side Story always holds true. It never hurts to just sit back, relax, and play it cool. West Side Story is based on Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, but instead of the Montagues and the Capulets, features the heated disputes between the Sharks and the Jets. The band presents one gang's expression of loyalty in their next piece, the Jet Song. happens to be right here on this field. When we perform together, you could say that we are playing with one heart. We thank you for your attention and happy centennial to Leonard Bernstein.
Winning number on a 50-50 ticket for $368. 374 27 or 2471. 374 2471. Again, for $368. Winning number on a 50-50 ticket, blue ticket, 374 2471. Please come to the press box. Again, that number again, one more time, for $368. 50-50 ticket winning number 374 2471. Please come to the press box.
And welcome back to Colonial Stadium here. Getting ready to start the second half of this football game. Once again, my name is Mitch Pegg, along here with KJ Dillo, the best color man in the business.
Thank you very much.
I am only the second best play-by-play announcer in the business, behind none other than Al Michaels. It's close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 1A, 1B kind of guy. I mean, for you.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's definitely close.
It's a toss-up. It
The only
depends what day it is.
the only thing that puts Al Michaels above me is the 1980s, you know, oh, do you believe in miracles? Oh, okay, Al, you've been hanging on to that tagline for how long now? Okay, get over it.
Yeah.
I'm here to take the throne. All right, so first half started out with a nice long touchdown drive for the Colonials, and that was about it for them. They really did, you know, well, right after that, they gave the kickoff return for a touchdown, a couple missed tackles there. Seemed to still be kind of hanging around, and then turnover. The turnover bug came and bit them. And they've been turning the ball over since then, but also a couple punt drives, a couple short punts put Plum in position to score. So we're going to enter this second half with the score 31 Plum and 7 for the Colonials.
Yeah, and a point to bring up, the mercy rule would come into effect at 36 points, so you got to imagine the Colonials are going to get out to a hot start, try to get this game back a little bit closer. You want to avoid that nonstop clock. Obviously gives you less of a chance to get down the field. Right,
they don't want to get into that. They want to have an opportunity to play here. I know they've been tired of having that be the case for them this year, and they want to get out there and play some football. So that's what we're going to have here to start our second half. We're going to have a kickoff here from the Colonials. And on the flip side of that, Plum is dying to see that running clock. As we've said, they've had a rough year as well. They've struggled with a 1-5 record. And you got to think that it feels good for them to come out here and get this win if they do indeed succeed in doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a long bus ride back to Old Plum Borough, so give them something to celebrate about.
And with that, we will start our second half with a kickoff here.
Booming kick.
Nice kick back to about the 10-yard line. That's where we'll be taken there. Out to the outside was Goosey again. Goosey does everything, man. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what's going on. Did you hear that? Having some audio issues here. And a first down and 10 play. We'll figure out that audio issue in a second. Handoff up the middle, and he's got a hole, but is tripped up right around midfield.
Good to see that, a Colonial down in the backfield. He's back on his feet and moving.
Carrying the ball number 2, Reed Martin.
It was Reed Martin on the carry. That's a name we didn't hear too much in the first half.
Not too much in the first half. And with a first down and 10 right around midfield, 48-yard line. Man in motion for the run play. And he's carrying a few defenders. And he finally gets the ball down to about the 43-yard line.
You know, there's something to be said for the arm tackling that we're seeing. You got a smaller running back like Guzzi. He's quick, he's elusive, but he has some power to him. You know, you go low, you take his legs out, you know, in the safest way possible. You don't want to have any injuries, but it's just the right way to go about it. You know, the arm tackles, he seems to be shedding them. It took 4 guys to bring him down there. You know, you hit him low and, you know, get him down in the backfield.
Second down and 5. Man in motion on the give. And that's going to be a first down for Plum. They got the 5 that they needed and then some. It's going to be a first down here for Plum at about the 37-yard line.
And that was Plum's boy, Billy Guzzi again.
And back to what you were saying about the arm tackling, KJ, that brings me back to probably my biggest tagline. We'll get to that in a second. With a man in motion on first and 10. Liner it back to pass. He has a man, but just overthrows him.
Pass complete intended for number 2, Reed Martin.
That was for Reed Martin.
And we got second down and 10 for the 37-yard line for Colonials for the Mustangs.
Sorry, folks, we're trying to get some of these audio issues figured out. Just a little bit of interference.
Plum coming up to the line. Shotgun start again. Quarterback takes a snap, hand off to Guzzi up the middle. Breaks a few tackles, arm tackling again, brought down near the 30-yard line.
Carrying the ball, number 1, William Guzzi.
Yeah, so again with those tackles, it's something I used to say when we were back into in high school when we were announcing these games. One of my taglines, as humorous as it can be, I used to say a lot, you can't run without your legs, and that's something that stands true to today. That's something that we need to see a little more of here for the Colonials on this defensive drive. Folks are trying to get some audio issues fixed here. Something going on with my man KJ's mic here, and we're going to get that fixed as Plum takes the ball to about the 21-yard line, which will bring up first down and 10. Excuse me, I had that spot wrong. That's about the 23-yard line, 24. Make it the 24, first down and 10.
Mustangs will have first and 10 from the Colonial 23-yard line.
So with first down and 10, Plum knocking on the door again, just a few yards from the red zone. Leinert in the shotgun formation. Schropp by his side. Drops back to pass on first and 10. Pocket collapsing, he makes the pass and almost intercepted. And there's some confusion on the field with the players and the referees.
And we do have a flag on the play.
Flag on the play, and we're going to wait that call. Humidity picking up here at the game. I got to think that the heat and the humidity that's kind of rolling in right now, oddly enough, as it gets a little later in the day, it is stickier. The fatigue is setting in for some of these players, so some frustrations may be mounting. And that's going to back Plum up a bit, I believe. Still awaiting the call. So it's a first down play.
And I think I'm back, Mitch.
Here we are again with my man KJ. Again, folks, we got some buzz going on here with the microphone. But I think we might have that fixed.
Yeah, I think it is fixed now.
All right, we're going old school with a handheld mic. I like it. So, again, you're going to have to forgive us. We had some confusion going on. That was a turnover for the Colonials, so this could be oh, just like that, it's fumbled. And I was just getting ready to say this could be a turning point, and it's fumbled on the option play there. and it looks like it's going to stay with the Colonials.
So you said there was a little bit of confusion there with the Colonials, possible turnover?
Yeah, so as we were getting all that fixed, I was trying to get this going here. The Colonials had an interception. There was a flag on the play. The flag actually ended up being on Plum, so Colonial ball. So they get a stop in the red zone. They just fumbled the ball and now have a long second down play, but they do still retain the ball. And the ball seemed to slip out there again, but it stays with the Colonials. So we're, again, this turnover stuff is starting to get a little bit ridiculous. We got a man down in the end zone, and that's our quarterback, Moody.
Yeah, that's a tough loss for any team. You get your starting quarterback go down, so let's hope he gets back up and he's all right.
As we saw too at the end there of the first half, there was he had a couple of tackles as well. So he's not a one-dimensional guy. He's not only their quarterback, he's also a linebacker for them as well.
Really tough spot for the Colonials to be in here. 3rd and 27, basically in their own end zone. That's something that you see a lot of pro teams, a lot of college teams have problems with. I mean, you get a high school team back there, you turn in very one-dimensional team. Your playbook gets very small.
Absolutely.
You're essentially just trying to stay alive and kind of get rid of the ball on a punt and try to play defense.
Right, and it's easy to, you know, heap a lot of the responsibility on the quarterback. He's the guy, you know, he calls the plays if he's coming up to the line. He's where it starts, where it ends. And for a team that's struggling like the Colonials right now, he's on the field a lot. Fatigue sets in. The defense continues to penetrate. They continue to get to the quarterback. And at this time, you know, we're talking 2 straight fumbles. Luckily, not fumbles lost, but there's a lot of heat on Moody right now. Gonna wait and see who they have in here to take over under center.
Wouldn't surprise me to see a running back kind of take a snap here.
So you have Tristan Robinson in for Moody right now. And his first play looks like it's going to turn into a safety.
They're going to spot him right on the goal line.
So they do not succeed with the safety. And I was looking here with the handy-dandy binoculars, and I could not tell if if the ball was in the end zone when his knee hit.
Back up on will be number 32, Nathan Sutton.
Or if he was in the end zone whenever he was down. I think he might have been down just shy. So this does create a very, very difficult punt for any punter, let alone a high school punter. So watch the snap on this one. I imagine Plum's going to be bringing everybody.
Yeah, almost had a few blocks already tonight.
Yeah, they've gotten close. So this is nerve-wracking for anyone, let alone a high school punter. So low snap. He does get it away, but it was, I believe, tipped to the line with the low punt. But
not a terrible outcome.
Not a terrible outcome for that young man. Out to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I don't think too many golfers would have liked that shot. A lot of front spin on it. But
yeah,
for a punter, that's kind of a saving grace whenever you get one tipped or kind of hit one off the side of your foot.
It could have ended up a lot worse. You know, you've seen even punters in the NFL that nobody wants to be literally standing with their foot at the out of bounds line there in the back of the end zone. You take a step back, you're out of bounds. That's a safety. It goes over your head even a minute, even an inch. You're reaching up for it. That could be a safety, and nobody wants that. So Plum with a high snap on first down. Handoff up the left side, and he's met there, and he goes for the legs that time. So
carrying the ball, number 1, William Guzzi.
That's Guzzi again, Billy Guzzi. Nobody got up to that PA announcer, so he's still calling him William. You know, I'd imagine he's, you know, he wants to be called Billy. So we're going to keep doing it for him.
Yeah, one thing you got to notice about the Colonials defense tonight, secondary making a lot of tackles. That front 7, front 6, front 8, whatever they have going, and depending on what package it is, they're not hitting the running back, the quarterback too very often. A lot of secondary action.
Absolutely. So on 2nd and 2, ball at the 26, Handoff to Guzzi again. Spin move out to the right, and it looks like he's going to have just enough for the first down.
One thing you were mentioning before about punters, fun fact about Plum, one of their more famous alumni, Pat McAfee.
How about that?
Pride of Plum Borough, West Virginia Mountaineers, Indianapolis Colts, perennial Pro Bowler, retired at 29, living the good life.
Got an amazingly humorous and interesting podcast.
So shout out to Plum Borough on that one.
They got it right with McAfee for sure. Handoff up the left side, and a heck of a there. And I'll tell you, I don't know who got more of it on that. Schrupp really lowered his shoulder there. I believe he met Brian Andrews there on that tackle.
Yeah, flag down. Not really sure what the call's going to be. Looks like a hard football play to me.
It did. It looked like a good tackle, so I don't know if there's a little extra something there that I didn't see.
Coming back, Colin Plum.
Personal foul, so I don't know if there was some sort of block. I would hope that it wasn't on the running.
Absolutely. That's what I was just going to say. I would hope it wasn't on the running back. That was just a hard-nosed play.
Absolutely. You know, some rules have changed with the heads-up football thing and everything that they have going on, which we understand. You know, we've seen some pretty treacherous injuries even to the pros. I don't have to say much than to mention the name of Ryan Shazier. Just a normal football play and stuff can happen. So I know why they're tightening up, but it also can take away. And with that, it's going to be a quarterback keeper about a yard short of the first down.
Yeah, you mentioned some of those higher hits that they're trying to get out of the game. It doesn't even take much, like you said, with Ryan Shazier, but you know, you got some other players, some larger linebackers, even some bigger safeties. They put a few pretty good licks on some running backs, and that's where the head injuries come in.
Now I've noticed now that Billy Guzzi will come in and out at times, and there are times when their quarterback Leinart is not on the field when he is. So I don't know if they're running a Wildcat sort of offensive package there. With the handoff.
Just straight downhill.
Straight downhill. He runs hard. That's that Schropp again. And again, I don't know if the penalty was on him, but he's the one who lowered his shoulder there as he reached the secondary on his previous run. And they're swapping out these packages, which is something I like to see. It's keeping legs fresh. You got guys that are playing both sides of the ball. Colonial's trying to keep up here, trying to maybe force another turnover here as they're knocking on the door. They don't want to see Plum inch towards that 40-point mark any further than they've gotten. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here on 3rd and 2.
Heavy set package.
Heavy set. And there's a flag prior to the snap. And it's going to be offside, so we got a little happy on that. A little aggressive.
You got to imagine the Plum coaching staff. They're swapping players in and out. Some of their philosophy has to be to get some of the younger players and some of the more inexperienced players. You know, you got a lot of moms and dads in the stands. This is a game where, you know, they have a nice little lead, so they're getting some players in, making some moms and dads happy. You know, getting to see their kids out on the field. It's good for the players, but the Plum coaching staff, like you said, they're definitely rotating the players very well.
Absolutely. So with that, it's first down, and the handoff is to Billy Guzzi, and he's going to walk it into the end zone.
Pretty much untouched to the goal line there.
Heck of a blocking scheme there. Wide open lane, but that boy's been getting into the secondary without a wide open lane all night. I mean, he's really chunking away some yardage here.
You know, you really do have to wonder at the same time. The blocking does look, you know, it's obviously efficient. It's enough to get him through the first, you know, line of defense, I guess you could call it. But they're also running so hard. It's straight downhill, like we've been saying. It's something the Colonials aren't really doing. They're trying to get around the outside, and clearly Guzzi has the speed to get around there. But send him right up the middle. Why not?
Absolutely. With those arm tackles you were talking about, you're not really losing much when you're going up the gut. So with that, it's 38-7. Plum on top of the Colonials right now. The Mustangs, after giving up a touchdown on the first drive of the game, have been pretty dominant since then. 3:38 left in the third quarter here. So as we were preparing for this game, you know, I knew we would reminisce
this a little bit, KJ, and I thought to myself, you know, I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to mention it when it comes to doing this tonight. It's been 11 years since we stood here. Our 10-year class reunion is coming up, but in classic fashion, we're a little late on that. We won't be having our reunion until Thanksgiving weekend, so we're a little behind the 8 ball on that, but it's been 11 years since we've been standing out here. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some stuff that maybe was going on in 2007, the last time that we were doing a football game, and maybe some things that have happened there since that time. For instance, I don't know if you really wrap your mind around this. Like I said, we're not that old, so but it's kind of funny to think that the first iPhone was released that year, and I didn't know anyone that owned one.
Absolutely not. It was a rarity to see one of those things.
And with that, we have the first kickoff that's going to be returned here by the Colonials in the second half. And Robinson brings it out to about the 22-yard line. Now everyone's face is stuffed in their iPhone 24/7, me included. I try to limit it as much as possible, but that's one of those things you think back and think, I was in high school and the iPhone didn't really exist while I was in high school. It did, but I didn't know many people that had one. And to be honest, I love Apple products, but just like any new thing, they weren't really that great at first either.
Yeah, I mean, if you were cool in 2007, you had the Razor.
That's
the old
right.
Razor
oh my
flip
goodness,
phone.
that was the slimmest, sleekest flip phone out there.
Absolutely.
You could cut yourself with it, which is why they called it a Razor. You know?
Very easy to conceal on school property as well.
Exactly.
Very
You know,
slim.
apparently kids are allowed to have their cell phones in school now, which just blows my mind. You know, it was contraband when we were here. You know, It was legitimately contraband. If you got caught with it, you were in trouble. But now things have changed. Snapchats all day long. On 1st and 10, that halfback handoff is going to go for about a loss of 1. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Let's hope on that cell phone conversation that Mr. Nuttall keeps that to a minimum in the video class. You like to keep things on the regular camcorders, the actual recording devices that he has.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some high quality stuff in that classroom. I mean, some other things, it's hard to believe. You know, I had a MySpace account when I graduated high school. I did not have a Facebook account. There's some people listening, you know, if you're younger, you're thinking, what is MySpace? But that was something that was going on. Ball's out, but it's recovered by the Colonials, and that's going to go for a loss of about 4 on that play.
Pretty quick moving quarter here, Mitch. Clicking down almost under 2.5 minutes left in the third. Time is just flying by.
It sure is, and that brings up looks like about a 3rd down and 16. You know, and something else I was thinking. Last time we did a football game, KJ, one Mr. Justin Bieber was 13 years old.
Wow.
13 years old.
Talk about time.
It's hard to believe he's only 24 now. I feel like he's been around for 40 years. But 13 years old, hadn't released a song yet. No one knew the Biebs was coming, but boy was he. And the world has not been the same since then. 3rd and 16. And we're going the wrong way, KJ. We are going the wrong way.
Yeah, clearly a passing play there, but it looked like the quarterback never had a chance to get his feet set. I don't even know if he could see the players downfield. The Plum defense was on him so fast.
And we have a man down on the field.
We do have an injured player in the field.
I think that's number 72 down, Mitch.
Is that who we got? Doesn't look. I see a 6 there.
Is it a 6?
Yeah. Could be 60. Dylan Thomas, maybe? I think that's who we got down. Hopefully he's okay. Usually when a big guy gets hurt, man, stuff that happens in the trenches is ugly, you know, on any level, high school, college, pros. When you see a hog molly go down, it can be a pretty bad injury, especially if it's a lower body injury somewhere around the knee or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity for rolling up with the legs and whatnot.
We're hoping that the young man's okay. He's sitting up now. He's not laying on his back any longer. Again, fatigue. I've said the word fatigue 20 times so far, but I can only say it enough. It's getting a little stickier out here, and he's up. Thomas was the one that was down. He's up, getting some help getting off the field. and he's limping. You know, he's something is not feeling very good for him right now, and I'm hoping that it's nothing major, anything requiring surgery or anything like that. You know, high school players, man, they end up needing sports-related surgeries too, and that's something to go through at a young age. It can be tough. You know I have relatives, friends that have had major knee surgeries. You know, going back to a friend of ours, Zach Trump, he had hip surgery at a young age. You know, a hip surgery that debilitated him for a while. So these guys are out here playing a violent game at any age. So you hate to see somebody go down. You hope he's all right. I mean, in our time, we saw guys dislocate hips. Jeremy Garrison, that was one of the nastiest things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he was sitting one way and his leg was aiming another. Another high punt here. It gets another fortunate roll, but it's going to make it back to about the 35-yard line again. Plum started, I think, 3 drives at the 35-yard line, our 35-yard line tonight. You know what else, KJ, you know, wasn't around? And I didn't know this. My wife actually pointed this out to me. The show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, started around the same time we were done doing our last football game. I feel like they've been around since I was a child, but in reality, it's been since we left high school, and they've taken the world by storm since then. Bieber, humorously involved with them as well. And that guy's got wide open field there. Is that Guzzi again? He's got plenty of room to run. I see 2 digits there, so I don't think that's our man Guzzi.
Could have been number 4. Could have been Schrapp again.
I think it might have been Schrapp.
James Schrapp.
Yep.
Pushed out of bounds by number 25, Torrey Robinson.
Our Colonials down there, man, they got to seal up that edge. They're struggling to seal up that edge. You see they're starting to get a little tired. They're starting to get a little worn out with having to chase these guys down. 1st and 10 at the 13.
It's like single coverage on the wide side of the field.
You might see him go there. He hands it off to Schrapp. He's up the middle. Another arm tackle, but finally brought down by number 10, Antonio Efford. You know, these just one play after another. Now you got another guy down, another guy in black. You got another Colonial sitting down. I honestly, you know, tiredness really takes a toll on the body. Every running back they hand it off to, they're getting a lane. They're going right through it, and that can really beat up on you after a while.
Looks like everybody's up and okay, so good to see there.
Get to the sideline, hydrate a little bit, get back out there. 1:09 left in the 3rd here. Scores 38-7. Plum leading your Colonials.
Again, spreading the field out.
It is very, it's nice to see different formation there for a second, but with that handoff, I'm missing something. Did I miss something, KJ?
Yeah, I think we did.
You know, it's a good thing we don't get paid to do this, I'll tell you, because we would not get our paycheck today. What did we miss?
Yeah, it was not a turnover on downs.
What in the world?
I'm at a loss for words here.
I am too.
There was no signal from any official that I saw.
You know what happened? I said the word Kardashian. I just stopped paying attention to anything else. You know, it was.
Yeah, that'll happen.
My brain just went dead there for a second. You know, I talk about Biebs, I talk about Kardashian, and all of a sudden I'm done. So the Colonials with the football. And they're going to go for a pass play, and it's going to be intercepted. He had a man open, but it is picked off. He's looking for the end zone, and he's going to walk it in.
Yeah, he definitely had a wide receiver. That was Cole DuPont downfield. A little short on the throw, though.
That interception in return was none other than Maximus Mapalski.
That name's been coming up quite a bit tonight. I know you love to say it, but with good reason. He's been making some plays.
I would like to not have to say it so often. They're really starting to pile it on here. Scores 44-7. With this extra point, it's 45-7 Plum. Some other fun things, KJ. Some other fun things that took place back in 2007, your top box office hits, movies, coming in at number 5, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Now, I know that you were a Harry Potter fan. I've never seen that one.
That was, I believe, the 4th installment in the Harry Potter series. 4th out of, well, I mean, they split the last one up into 2 movies, which was kind of a ridiculous thing for all Harry Potter fans. Because you know what happens when you read the book. Why split the movie up into 2 different things?
There's one reason and one reason only.
You gotta make that money.
You gotta make that money. Number 4 on the list is Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. That was the 3rd of that trilogy. Now they've since brought out some more movies, but that was the 3rd. Number 3 on the line, the original Transformers with Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox.
Megan Fox, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much more needs to be said about that. She was introduced to us young men at that time, and our lives were changed forever.
Yeah, you know, I kind of lost interest in that series when they brought Mark Wahlberg in. I wasn't a fan. I like Wahlberg, but he's a comedy guy, you know?
I agree, which is kind of funny. I don't know if he wants to be a comedy guy, but he's clearly a comedy guy. So, that is the end of your 3rd quarter here. We are now on the continuously rolling clock. It is in effect. Score is 45-7, Plum leading the Colonials. I know you're dying to hear what the top 2 movies in the box office were in 2007. This one surprised me, man. Shrek the Third.
Doesn't surprise me at all. I love that guy.
I love Shrek too. I believe I have some. I believe I'm in the family line of Shrek. But for some reason, I thought that movie was older than that. But I guess
I need you to tell me why they haven't made a spin-off called Donkey.
I don't know.
Eddie Murphy.
They did a Puss in Boots, did they not?
They did a Puss in Boots, but why not Donkey?
I don't understand. I don't. And number 1, this does not surprise me, but the movie did not live up to expectations. The 3rd and final Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire playing the lead role. You know, really a lot of anticipation for that movie, and what a letdown.
Very much so. Very much so.
I hope we're not sponsored by that company. I don't want to upset anyone, but not a fan of anyone that. I'm just going to go out and say it. Anytime they include Venom, it kind of falls off. I'm a little worried for Tom Hardy in this new Venom movie. It looks corny. I hope it's good.
But I mean, Tom Hardy can play anything.
He really can. He really can. And with that riveting stuff, we're on to the 4th and final quarter of this game. Colonials with the ball on a 1st and 10 at the 20. First touchback of the game, by the way. Moody back to pass. He swings it out. That's the first bubble screen we saw all night, and it goes for roughly 5 or 6 yards here.
It's a nice little chunk play, though. I mean, that's something that they could have been doing all night long.
You were standing here calling for it. Open side of the field. Get that guy involved.
You know, you do have to realize that in a high school atmosphere like this, there is a limited playbook. I mean, you know what you have in your players, but it does come to a point where you just kind of hope that they open it up a little bit. And I'm glad to see that they're letting Moody throw the ball a little bit.
I mean, at this point, you know, I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy here, but what do you got to lose? Spread it out.
Absolutely.
See what you got going on. Make some, you know, put some new schemes in there if you can.
And fumble on the play.
Fumble on the play.
Not a Colonial near it.
That was bizarre. You know, like you said, not a Colonial near it, and that was at the snap. So the motion was set, snap occurred, and the ball hit the ground. You know, that was a very interesting transition there.
So moving down the list of the interesting things.
I knew you would be interested in this.
I'm very interested. This is intriguing stuff.
So top selling albums in the U.S. during 2007. Number 5 was Same Hearts by Carrie Underwood. If you're a Carrie Underwood fan, that was the one that put her out there. Number 4, Hannah Montana. And the artist was various artists, because I don't know if you didn't see Hannah Montana. You're missing something. And with Hannah Montana, we have a first down rush up the gut, ball on the ground, but recovered by Plum. Number 3, get ready for it. Number 3 selling album in 2007, The Duchess by none other than Fergalicious.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Number 2, Convicted by Akon. If you didn't have that constantly rotating in your 5-disc changer in your Jeep, you were not cool.
Oh, the epitome of CD booklets that
Yes.
you kept in the car. Zach Trump with one of the most famous CD booklets of all time.
Absolutely.
He had to have over 200 CDs.
His name's coming up way too much. Forgive me. His head's going to be huge, but he is a big time. Also a police officer, which should scare everyone that's listening. And number one, this is the big. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not. This is the biggest letdown of all. Number one selling album in 2007, self-titled album by Daughtry. Sad. It's a sad, sad day.
You know, they loved him in American Idol.
They really did.
They loved him in American Idol.
I had enough Daughtry before Daughtry was a thing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Nickelback. You know, I felt
Same
like,
sound.
Yes, yeah. So
He was
sorry
riding
to
on the
disappoint.
coattails, you
Yes,
know?
he certainly was. He certainly was. So, with that anticlimactic list of albums, you can see that music. I don't know. Has music gotten better since then? Has it gotten worse? I don't know. You can't really go by album sales to say what music really looks like, but
You know, I got to tell you, I don't listen to very much new music.
No.
I have a select few artists that I really enjoy, and whenever they put something new out, it's great.
absolutely. A couple of arm tackles missed there again.
Number 10, Ryan Huffner, tackle made under 71, Colby Veranda.
And Ryan Humpner on the play, on the run.
Dylan Shea.
You know, late in the fourth quarter here, you see the Colonials, they still have the same defense out on the field, so they are still putting their best foot forward. They're trying to, you know, be respectable, get a stop here towards the end of the game, try to get the ball back. You know the offense wants another shot.
Sure.
So, and like you said, a lot of the guys on the offense are also on the defense, so they're really playing their hearts out.
They really are. 3rd and 1. And the give is snuffed out by the defense, so a heck of a stop there on a 3rd and 1. So that was one of the better defensive plays we've seen
Cole
tonight.
DuPont said his name a lot tonight, one of the more prominent Colonials that we've been able to talk about.
Yep. On the tackle there, and that's a loss of about 4, which brings up 4th and 6.
That'll bring up 4th down and 6 for the Mustangs.
You know, one of the things that I had a little bit of a drive to get down here to see you tonight and broadcast this game, and I was able to listen to a prior broadcast of a game earlier this year, and it seemed like the Colonials it was kind of the same story. You know, the blocking wasn't all that great, so it's something that they've been struggling with. It's something that they will probably continue to struggle with, but they are building. I think that they've gotten better since the beginning of the season. They've slowly progressed. They still haven't won a game, obviously, but I think the team is progressing, and that's all you can really ask for, because you know, a lot of the players, there was 4 years of high school. A lot of the players are going to be here next year. A lot of the players are going to be here the year after that. So you got to start somewhere. You got to just try to build team, build chemistry, and just play for each other, you know?
Absolutely. And with a false start call was on Plum, and that turned it into a 4th and 11. And the coaches are now calling for a field goal play, so it's going to be a nice poke there for the field goal kicker. So I'm excited to see if the Colonials can maybe get in the backfield on this field goal attempt.
You're looking at probably
seems as though there was a
40-yarder here.
Now, field goal unit is on the field for Plum. It might have been a timeout called. And now the Colonials are back
on a snap, number 14, Hunter Linhart.
to try and stop this field goal attempt.
42-yard attempt.
Yeah, we'll get to see a heck of a leg here. Like I said, a pretty good boot. We've seen him kick off a few times. He's obviously crushing the extra points.
42-yarder is on its way. And it's good. Oh, no, it's no good. Excuse me. Just outside. Now, he had every bit of the leg to get that.
Yeah, plenty of distance.
If that was 45, 46, that would have been good. But just a bit outside there. Tried the corner and missed. Another fun fact for you. Back in 2007, some guy you might know named Michael Phelps, little fun fact for sports. At that time, we all knew he was great. He had 8 Olympic medals, 6 were gold. We thought, what more can we get from this guy? All he did was go out the next Olympic Games, win 8 medals, all of which were gold. He now has 28, won a few golds this past Olympics, only a couple years ago. He's ageless and he's killing it. I thought that was fun to see how far he's come.
Definitely
I don't know
I saw a face mask there.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard some of the fans here on Plum's sideline. but that was an awkward tackle. Gentleman's leg looked like it got bent a little bit, but he's fortunate to pop back up on that play.
Like you said, continuous clock still running, just about under 6 minutes left in the game. Still some time for the Colonials to make a splash play, kind of get down the field.
I know you're wondering, KJ, I know you're wondering, what were the top fashion trends in 2007?
Yeah, it's been on my mind since we started doing
I could
this.
see it in your eyes. And right after this play, I'll tell you. So we got a second down and 5 at the 25 for the Colonials. Under center. The handoff is up the gut, and it goes nowhere fast.
Carrying the ball, hit number 40, Blake Kirby.
And on that play, we saw a different running back than we've seen so far tonight. Malik Kirby on the play.
Looks like Angel. See, I'm reading the numbers.
On the other side,
on the other side.
I told
Tristan
you,
Robinson still in a quarterback. I misspoke earlier in the quarter.
Yeah.
It looks like Moody hasn't come back, so maybe that injury was a little bit more serious than we thought.
I'm hoping he's all right. And on third down, we have a toss play. Seems to be developing out to the left side of the field here. He's going to come up a couple yards short.
That was Cole DuPont there. He said he's been getting the ball a lot tonight. I'd like to see him go up the middle, maybe on this play, pick up a first down.
Well, DuPont, I mean, I'm sure his Saturday mornings are spent resting up because he gets the ball a lot. Moody, DuPont, Stone, Robinson, Doyle, these guys touch the ball a lot for the Colonials, and they're on the field for defense as well. So they're out there. I know that they're enjoying this as much as it's one-sided on the scoreboard. There's a reason you come out and you continue to do this.
And just an announcement, we do still have fries and chicken tenders for sale in the concession stand. They're asking if you wanted it, please don't come down now.
And that was a gutsy play call there. I mean, I know you're down far, but they want to try to go for it, and the Colonials pick up a first down on a fourth down conversion. So it's 1st and 10. Clock running at 3:49.
Still battling, Mitch. They're still battling.
You know they want to get on the scoreboard one more time. You know they want to do that.
Such a hot start, you know? Such a hot start from the team. It's got to be disappointing, but, you know, the kids will bounce back. Get one down the field here, maybe punch it in before the end of the game.
That's what we're hoping for on a 1st and 10. Another play up the middle.
Carrying the ball, hit number 14.
Nice hard tackle. Tristan Robinson on the keeper.
Made by number 57, Michael Leone.
And that's a pickup of 3, so it'll be a 2nd down and 7. So those fashion trends, KJ, low-rise jeans. Now they're up to everyone's chest, you know, high-rise jeans. Ugg boots with shorts. I know you missed that. Pencil eyebrows. Remember we used to pluck their eyebrows and it was like there's nothing left? Yeah, now they're like huge. Velvet tracksuits. With that power toss and velvet tracksuits, it's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down.
I won't mention any names, but my wife's favorite teacher in her tenure here at Albert Gallatin was a big fan of the velvet tracksuit.
I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. You know, to me, that sounds awfully sweaty.
It absolutely does. And it just reminds me of the Santa Claus movies, you know, the elves.
Yes, exactly. And number 1, I don't know, cargo shorts. I'm sorry, I still wear cargo shorts.
Yeah, you can carry a lot of goods in those.
Tell me that's a trend, and I will tell you you are not a good person. So, play is to the outside here, and for the first time, they take advantage of that open field on the long side of the field.
Forced out of bounds by number 85, Rocco Caprera.
And that was Caleb Lang.
I think the first time we've seen him touch the ball tonight. Pretty explosive run.
Yep.
And to touch on the cargo shorts one more time, I'm pretty sure that most of our cargo shorts are probably from 2007 and 2008.
This is true. Cargo shorts are not only very purposeful and not only very fashionable, they do not die.
Yeah, durable. Very, very durable.
There's so much stitching on cargo shorts that it's impossible to tear them apart.
Yeah,
all those pockets. No. No, sir. Not up there. Yeah. We have some fan interaction now. Very exciting stuff. Gentlemen thought we were the PA announcers, and that is not the case.
That is not.
We should have told him yes. Why did I do that? That would have been hilarious.
That is absolutely.
We're gonna roll with that. I like how I broke character there for a second and just decided to have a conversation with. But you can't ignore a nice older man. It's like, hey, is that you talking? I'm not going to be like, and not talk to him. I'm like, yeah, no, sir, it's not us. Sorry. That was pretty funny. I should have been like, yeah, and just lipped whatever the PA announced.
You know what fashion trend I don't miss? The zipper shorts. That's one of those fashion trends that.
They make a lot of sense. But just tell me, after zipping the legs off, do you ever zip them back on? Nobody does. You turn them into shorts forever. Robinson looking for a deep ball, and it is intercepted by Plum. With the running clock there, that's probably going to do it for tonight for the Colonials. As they tried to get some more points on the board there, it looks like they're going to take their time running this clock down. As they do that, KJ, I want to take a second. And I know you and I took a halftime and kind of took in some of the views and some of the things that, memories and things like that. We had a lot of fun doing this. It's been a lot of fun to come back and announce this football game with you. I wish we could have got a win. I wish, it was a more exciting finish for the Colonials. But as we're walking over here at the field house, there's a memorial wall, and there's a wall of donors that have given to the team. And on that memorial wall, we stood there for a second, got a little choked up because on that memorial wall there's a name there that for all intents and purposes shouldn't be there, and that's a dear friend of you and mine, Adam Morris. And Adam was a friend of ours, graduated
very
with us,
dear friend.
very good friend, graduated with us in 2008, and it's a very humbling feeling and experience to see him on that wall. It's a shame, it shouldn't be there. Adam was a good friend, a good guy, a funny guy, a great football player. Put his body on the line. He's one of those guys you talk about who had some pretty serious injuries, and he was a great dude, man. And it was he was involved in a fatal car crash 2 years after we graduated, and our hearts still go out to his family. He's very well missed, very well loved, and to just take this time to remind everyone, when it comes to drinking and driving, we encourage everyone drink responsibly if you're going to do that. Don't be underage drinking and things like that. Guys, we are personally affected by this, and this might seem like a weird spot to do this, but just seeing his name, being back in this atmosphere, he's missed and he's loved, and we just hope that everyone out there can learn from something like that. And not to put a sad spin on this, but I wanted to say that. I know that he was a good friend of yours, a good friend of mine. And it's something that sticks with us, and we hate to see that happen, so we just encourage everyone to do the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam Morris, he was a heck of a guy. He was a heck of a friend. One of the better friends that I've had in my entire life.
Absolutely.
I grew up with him. You start out in T-ball, you play Little League after that. You grow up through high school. Unfortunately, we didn't start actually going to school together until 9th grade, obviously the separation in the middle schools in our district. But once we were all together as a family at that point, because we all knew each other.
Yeah.
And once we all were able to get together, we had a lot of good times. So one of the things I remember, I'm not sure if Albert Gallatin still does it, but the bleacher creatures, the support section.
Yep.
Adam was the leader of that section for our class. I'll never forget the times that we had our freshman year watching our high school basketball team. That's whenever I found my family. In high school. I mean,
that's where we met.
Adam and Zach, like we bonded in those moments watching sports, and that's one of the things I'll always remember about Adam is he was a heck of an athlete, but he was an even better friend, and he's very much missed. And like we were talking about going around the oval here, around the track, there isn't much I wouldn't give to have another conversation with him. Just one. Just see how he's doing. Let him tell me a funny story. He always had a couple of those.
Oh my goodness, man!
And he was always good to do something funny in that moment. The improvisational things.
Absolutely.
So, like you said, our thoughts go out to his family still after all this time. He's on my mind constantly. I'm sure he's on yours constantly.
Yeah.
It's hard to see the number 29 and not think about him.
Absolutely. And you see him on that wall, and it's a shame that. It's a shame that it's there, and we talk about things that changed since we've done this the last time, and he was still with us the last time we stood here and did this. So I felt like I needed to say something, and I'm glad that I could be here with you tonight.
Same here, buddy.
Nothing's changed. You were in my wedding. It's we're great friends, and we always will be, and this was just a fun thing to come back and do. We thank Mr. Nuttall for letting us do it. Had an idea. I said, yeah, we'd definitely like to do that, and it's a blessing to come back 11 years later and reminisce a little bit, and we'd be glad to do it again.
Absolutely.
And so with that, I'm not going to lie to you, they took the score off the scoreboard, so I can't remember what it was. A lot to a little. 45-7, that's what it was. 45-7. I've been out of the game for a while, man, okay? But 45-7, Plum with the victory here. Your next game is going to be AG versus Connellsville. Another tough game for the Colonials, but we're hoping that they can turn us around, have some, at least something to bring their spirits up coming into the end of the season here. And while this may be a tough season for them, maybe get some more recruits and have a better season next year. We don't know if we'll be back and when we'll be back, but if that should happen, we'll be glad to be here. We'd like to take this time and thank you for watching AGTV Sports on Channel 77, Fayette TV, and for those of you that tuned in live, we appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with our rustiness, and we hope that you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.